Hello and welcome to episode number 25 of the Real Game Media Podcast. It's a pleasure to be back. We have a massive line of things to discuss with you today. It has been a very, very active couple of weeks in the gaming industry, which is extraordinarily exciting. We're going to talk about the recent and upcoming game releases, the specifications of the Xbox Scorpio that were released for Digital Foundry earlier in the week. We have debate night number 4, where we're going to be discussing whether Games with Gold is a better service than PlayStation Plus. We have the Mass Effect Andromeda giveaway to announce. We are going to be talking about how EA has gone and politely sent care packages to anybody who signed up for their EA access process. We have the winners of the BAFTA Awards this year, our Netflix and movie segment, and of course, everybody's favorite moan and groan segment, What Grinds My Gears. But before we get into it, let's introduce everybody that's here today, starting with Julius Malco.
Hey, everyone.
That's it?
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. How's it going, everyone?
What's going on?
It's going good. It's going good. We have Samuel Tolbert.
Hey everybody, lots to talk about. Scorpio news is finally here. It's awesome. Let's get rolling.
Indeed. Eric Jackson.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy weekend to everyone out there. Let's go.
We have Lord Cognito joining us again from the Iron Lords podcast.
Well, Cognito here. Great to be back. Awesome week of news. I'm excited. Let's get this going.
Joining us for the very first time, Demetrius Brown of DemiGod Reviews.
Hey, folks. DemiGod Reviews here. First-time podcaster, long-time reader. Glad to be on the show.
Yeah, we're really glad to have you here. So let's just get straight into what we've been playing this week, and we'll do it in the same order that we just did the introductions. Julius, what have you been playing?
I have not been playing.
Is it anything other than The Division?
Okay, so if you're gonna count the last game that I played, yes, it was a Division. But this week has been super busy with stuff on the website and a lot of behind-the-scenes work that we've been doing to grow RGM and the community. So haven't had much time to play anything.
So you've not been gaming?
I have not been gaming this week.
Get out.
Listen, you. You know how busy I've been.
You know how busy I've been.
I know.
All right, anyway, moving right along because that was fantastically engrossing. Sam, what have you been playing?
Well, like Jules, I have been very busy, but unlike Jules, I've been doing a lot of gaming as well. I've been playing a lot of Gears of War 4 as usual, enjoying all the updates and the competitive seasons that they're bringing in. And I've also been playing a lot of Mass Effect Andromeda because I've finally gotten to the point where the story has, really taken off. So it's like, all right, I've slugged it out so far. I can really enjoy what I'm getting into at this point. Plus, the technical patch they just released yesterday, or no, 2 days ago, excuse me, fixes a lot of the crashing and the frame rate issues, at least so far. So far it's been a much more pleasant experience. So I'm really digging that. And that's pretty much it.
Okay, nice. Eric, what have you been playing?
I've been kind of jumping around a little bit. I actually finished my first playthrough of Halo Wars Definitive.
Nice.
So I finished that last night. Yeah. Other than that, Nier Automata, and actually Unravel. I never got a chance to play that one, so I decided to kind of jump in there. So
Yeah,
I'm kind of keeping it light. I had started on Breath of the Wild, but then I slowed down a bit. I wasn't really completely ready to do another open world, extended jaunt. And other than that, dabbled a little bit in Persona 5, but again, wasn't quite ready to really dive in. So hopefully this week I'll jump on those.
Nice. All right, cool. Mr. Cognito?
Yeah, it's been a fun week. I've been dusting off the Destiny.
You been playing anything other than Destiny? No.
Yes, I have. I've actually also been touching. I downloaded, to give myself a little break from Zelda, I downloaded a title from the eShop. It's Blaster Master Zero. It's kind of like an old throwback to the NES game. Yeah, so they did like a nice little remake with that, and I just downloaded the Mass Effect Andromeda patch, so I just did like a couple of couple of minutes with that. I know we'll get into Mass Effect a little bit more, but noticing some improvements. So that's pretty much been my week so far.
Nice. That's a good spread. Demi, what have you been playing over these last couple of weeks?
I've been playing a lot of Kingdom Hearts recently. I never got to finish it way back when, so I've been playing a lot of Kingdom Hearts 1. I've been playing Tales of Hearts on the Vita. I just beat Titanfall 2.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
How good is that campaign, man?
Best shooter campaign I played since Doom.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, do you think they missed the boat on not doing a campaign the first time around?
Yes. I feel like the Titanfall 1 had the writing it did, like Titanfall 2 did, thing out the water immediately.
Awesome. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100. All right, cool. That's a nice bit of games. What have I been playing? I've been playing the Gladiolus DLC for Final Fantasy 15. I haven't had a chance to put much into that. I touched on that a little bit yesterday. I've been playing Mass Effect Andromeda. I've been playing the crap out of Mass Effect Andromeda. I started Persona 5, which is, I can see a lot of my life is going to get lost in Persona 5. And I've been playing this game on my mobile, actually, called Armajet. That's one of my friends is working on the development of that. So I've been checking out the beta, and it's actually a lot of fun. It's quite addictive, unfortunately, which is why I generally do not put games on my mobile phone, because I will never stop gaming. Like, it's just like it takes away from my focus of other things that I should be doing, particularly like at work, because that's always bad when you get busted playing a game on your phone.
Are you saying you were busted? Or are you just saying in general?
Yeah, no. I
Hypothetically.
may or may not have been busted playing Armajet on my phone. So, all right. So that gives everybody a good temperature of the games and the platforms that we're playing across before we get into the main topics. So let's get into the first one, which is the recent and upcoming game releases. Bulletstorm, the full clip edition sales will determine whether the sequel happens. So firstly, has anybody here played Bulletstorm previously, or the remaster that was just released yesterday or the day before yesterday?
Absolutely. Yep.
You kick us off then. Tell us what you think.
Eric, you go first.
Me first. When I have not played the remaster yet. Only for the fact that personally, I'm just gonna wait for it to be a little bit cheaper. As you know, seeing as that I did play it last gen, I do love that game, but I wasn't, with all the other games out right now, wasn't looking to spend $60 on it. But that being said, I only paid $5 for Bulletstorm when it came out, or not when it came out, but I should say it was on. No, people slept on that game. Like it did. I mean, people just ignored it. So it was like in clearance racks everywhere. Yeah. And when I grabbed it, I said, I feel like a total ass, man, because this game is completely worth the asking price or the admission,
Yep.
So so shame on people who did sleep on it, but at the same time, it was just one of those things that it happens. People kind of overlook certain things. But just a fun, I like to just say video game. Like there are games that take themselves way too serious and you kind of get lost in their mix, but then there are just games that are just fun. You just pick them up. It's like you don't have to think too much. It's just mindless fun. You just, cruise through the campaign and have fun with it. And that's definitely Bulletstorm.
Yeah, definitely. I paid full price for both versions. I pre-ordered earlier this week for the remaster because of Duke Nukem. So props to the marketing campaign, because that's what sold me. Nice. I watched the first few minutes of the first mission, and the way that they put Duke Nukem in there, and they changed some of the lines to sort of fit his persona. Like, I mean, they easily could have just said, we're just going to put a Duke Nukem skin on there, and then just put the exact same dialogue and all this shit. But no, he interjects with, I'm going to kick your ass if you do that again, sort of thing. So, it's the Duke Nukem you loved back in the PC day, and it's they replaced the main character, which was kind of like Duke Nukem. He had the attitude, but I just find that this time around it's going to be awesome playing as Duke Nukem. So it's a double whammy for me.
Nice.
Not to mention the ways you can kill people in that game If you have not played it, oh my god, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's insane, man.
Shooting some guy in the nuts is never ever gets old. And then going up to them, kicking their head off. Oh my god! Like, come on.
Yeah, that's so true. Like yesterday when Major Nelson was doing the Free Code Friday, it's like I had to think about which ones I like the best.
Oh,
like, which kills,
Using the whip to get him up in the air, and then you're shooting body parts off while he's coming down. That's awesome. So pick it up.
Wow. All right. Well, there's the thoughts on Bulletstorm. So move straight along to the next one because we got a lot to cover today. Mass Effect Andromeda. Now, we touched on this a couple of weeks ago because it had only just come out, but everybody's now had a lot more time to invest into Andromeda. Has everybody here had a chance to play it yet?
Nope.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we only have one no. Okay. Then you can be quiet. And everybody else, what are your thoughts?
Sorry, I had my mic muted, so that's a no for me.
2 no's.
Well, that's because you ain't been playing nothing these last 2 weeks. But moving right along. Look,
Listen,
Cognito,
I can
what
tell
do
you
you
what
think of Mass Effect Andromeda?
Yeah, I've been getting a little deeper with it. Definitely downloaded that patch this week. Just try to get a feel of what has changed. I saw some initial before and after shots. And the first thing off the back is the zombie possessed eyes have definitely improved. That was the first thing I noticed, and that was welcome to see. Another huge thing that I really enjoy as far as like when I do my planet exploration and mining for minerals and stuff, what I did notice was that now they've actually give you the ability to skip that annoying loading between planets. Because as much as I like that the graphical interface of zooming in, I don't need to see it for the 100th time trying to scan a planet. So those are welcome, fixes and additions. Still a little janky frame rates here and there, so not everything's perfect. But for the most part, it's been good. I just wish they can do a little bit more with the UI stuff. I still feel like charting tasks and quests is still a bit cumbersome. I would like that cleaned up a little bit more. But as far as my experience with the game, yeah, I've been getting deeper with it. I've been getting my squad mates and invested into certain different quests and side quests. So I've been liking it so far. So far so good.
Good. I'm glad to hear you're enjoying it. Demi, you've been playing it, yeah?
Yeah, I have.
And your
this
thoughts?
Pro Vanguard build.
Nice.
Pre-patch, it was rough. It was rough around the edges.
Yeah.
A lot of people ripped it for like some stuff, and I'm like, it's rough in the aspects of where it shouldn't be rough at. But now they've smoothed out so much, and the planet thing where it just zoomed in all the time. Thank God, because I was tapping A, trying to get past that, and I'm just like, I can't do this.
Amen to that.
How many times must I sit here looking at this? But it feels good now.
Do you think they should have just waited?
Yeah.
I mean, months down the line, if they had this already in there, yeah, it would have been fine. But
because there wasn't really anything. There wasn't anything really launching that was going to change anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
They could have saved.
No, not really.
No, they could. I mean, they could have saved themselves the heartache of, these animations that really weren't that bad.
They actually were, like, they actually are really bad. And that's the thing that really annoyed me about Mass Effect Andromeda is a company like BioWare, with the budget they had and the development time that they had for them to launch a game like Andromeda in a franchise that is as popular as Mass Effect, for there to be this small bunch of things that could have been done to fix it that only took them a month to fix it. Why wasn't that implemented in the 5 years of development?
Amen.
QA people. QA.
Especially when they made those statements prior to release stating that Mass Effect would not be released until it's ready. So clearly you guys knew it wasn't ready, and a patch came out and quickly fixed a lot of these issues. So it just goes to show you this thing was clearly.
It could have changed the experience for so many people. There are a lot of people that I know that I've literally had to talk them into revisiting Andromeda that gave it up after like 3 or 4 hours. And I was like, nope, I'm done. I'm like, dude, I understand where you're coming from. I've been there. I've done that. I felt like I was at work as well. I wasn't enjoying it. But you push through. You get to like the 10-hour mark, and everything changes, and the world that you expect it to be opens up to you. The planet hopping's there. The storyline gets in depth. The villain gets exposed for. I don't want to do any spoilers. The villain gets really good as well. Like, there is a massively amazing, fantastic game there waiting for you, but you really do have to slog through this good portion of the beginning, and that just shouldn't be a thing. So,
it's like turning in a incomplete book report because you knew you're supposed to have it done, and you wait until Sunday. You wait until Sunday to start it or to start reading.
Then you're like, can I hand in the rest of this like 2 weeks from now?
Or how about 3 months from now? We'll be completely done with the book report 3 months from now.
or you slide it in with the second book report you're doing.
Yeah.
And your teacher's like, what's this about? It's like, oh, it's the stuff that I forgot to put in my...
Yeah, this is the appendix. I thought it was attached. Clearly it wasn't. Here it is. But I mean, the thing with Andromeda is it is actually a really, really good game. Even outside of the issues that people have with the character animations, the lifeless face, which has now been fixed by them. Like, it's amazing just how fixing the eyes has completely changed the game. It's insane. And that is a reason why they call eyes a window to the soul and why they are so important in character animation. But if you are one of those people who has put the game down after 3 or 4 hours and feels like they were jaded they feel jaded now by the franchise and they feel like they wasted their money, I implore you, please go back, put in another 3 or 4 hours. You will get an amazing game out of it. You will be thankful that you did it. I was at a point where I was tempted to just go, you know what, I've got the Gladius DLC for Final Fantasy 15 sitting there waiting for me. Why am I making myself do this? But you push through it and you're just like, all right, okay, this is good. This is really, really good. So does anybody else want to weigh in their thoughts on Andromeda before we move on?
I mean, I've given my thoughts before, and they echo pretty much what you and others have said. It's like the game opens up after a point. It's just the issue I'm stuck on. I'm pushing through. I'm enjoying my time with it right now. Is I find it very difficult to applaud them fixing these issues, considering the fix came so quickly after 5.5 years of dev time. That wasn't enough. That is, I don't know. It's not ringing with me right. It's very suspicious. I don't like it. I don't know. That's just, it's bugging me.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Definitely, big time.
I mean, could it also be a case of that they purposely wanted to get bad publicity to amplify the amount of publicity that they were getting and the exposure?
They would have gotten better publicity and better sales and better critical recognition if they had just released a fixed game, regardless of the writing. If the technical issues hadn't been there, I mean, if that's what they were gambling on, then that was really dumb, honestly.
I don't think they
Yeah, I think they were good. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think they want to tarnish a good series name by doing something like that. It kind of smears what came before with this.
It kind of, I think they wanted to ride the coattails on their previous success and tried to sneak one, but you can't sneak past gamers, man.
Too smart.
Yep.
You catch it.
Yep.
And nowadays, there's too many games, like quality games, like even when you have a pedigree, like a Mass Effect, title, like you could easily be forgotten or ignored. I mean, you're gonna have your fan base that's gonna rock with you, and I would say that the fan base, for most cases, are most forgiving. But like you said, Bella, you kept pushing through. But how many gamers are gonna be willing to do that? Some gamers are very much like, nope. Like you don't.
Well, a lot of people have restricted times as well. Sorry, you go.
Right. I was just gonna say, and on top of that, building on top of that, Eric, you're absolutely right. This game will never not be the meme of 2017. The videos are out there and they are horrific. They're funny, but they're horrific. So you can't fix that.
Yeah, that's right. And a lot of gamers, they have a very limited amount of time. They might be able to play for 1 or 2 hours a night, a couple of nights a week, and they have to wait till the weekend to be able to get in their block of time and stuff. So if you are putting in 1 or 2 hours into the beginning of Mass Effect Andromeda, you're like, well, that was my entire night. that I got to game, and that was really underwhelming. And then they'll come back and potentially try and push through another hour, and they'll just be like, well, ugh, you know, this is the only time I get to game, and why am I wasting my time on this? So I can see why a lot of people dropped off very early from Andromeda and just did not push through. But please, as I said before, I implore you, gut it out, because it's worth it. The rewards are worth it.
Stick with it.
All right, so moving on from Mass Effect Andromeda to Yooka-Laylee, day one patch and possible Switch release date. And I think that there's even new news that has come out today about Yooka-Laylee, hasn't there been, Sam?
Yeah, well, it's in the process of going up on the site right now, actually. But Yooka-Laylee is going to join the Xbox Play Anywhere program, which is pretty cool because if you play on PC and your Xbox, then you buy a digital copy, you'll get both for free. So that's always nice.
Nice.
So is anybody here looking at Yooka-Laylee as like a day one thing? Like, anyone excited for it?
I am. I don't know if it'll be day one, but yeah, because I mean that speaks to like years ago for me in
Sarah
gaming.
will love it.
Oh yeah. She was watching me play Unravel the other night and was kind of mesmerized, and so yeah, she'll definitely enjoy like seeing that kind of game like being played. But it just speaks to like my nostalgia, factor. So even with the mixed reviews, it's still something that I want to play. And even though I haven't picked up a Switch yet, I was just saying that game should be on Switch.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the same thing I was thinking as well.
Yeah.
It definitely screams portability, and that's actually what raised my eyebrows a little bit. So I said, okay, I might actually consider it. And I believe they were talking initially May 2nd or something like that. So if it does happen, yeah, I might keep my eye on it.
Nice,
very nice. Saints Row developer has released a Bad vs. Evil trailer for Agents of Mayhem. Now that looks friggin' amazing.
I think they're trying to take some of the thunder away from Crackdown.
That's exactly what I felt like.
Because I was like, this looks like the fact that they're calling them agents. Like, come on, tongue in cheek, right? It's like, yeah,
that was shot.
Yep.
Who
But
is
like Crackdown on the whole.
though? Like, are you gonna buy it? Is everybody keen for it? Everybody just
I am. I'm a huge Saints Row fan, so
I'll buy it, even though Volition has hit that mark on me like the last Saints Row title. I want to check this out because it looks more appropriate for what they've been going for.
Yeah, I mean, you cut a trailer with A-Team music and give a nod to Kit. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was in on that one.
Yeah, you got me. Yeah. So it just looks fun. That's all. It just looks like something you can get in there and just unleash, which is the same thing I'm looking for out of Crackdown. So yeah.
Lots of mindless fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because who doesn't enjoy that, right?
Yeah.
The State of Decay 2 release date is apparently going to be announced at E3.
Oh,
Surprise.
Right? Right?
Yeah, I mean, you can tell that was going to happen.
I mean, I've been excited for that since I saw the reveal. Was it last year or the year before that they revealed that at E3?
It was
last year. I'm watching this and I'm just like, oh my God, this is everything that I love about video games, like open world and lots of zombies and death and carnage. And it's going to be fantastic.
It definitely looks like something that and I'm excited for it for pretty much the same reasons, but it looks like something that if you've got like, 2 or 3 friends who are really committed to playing, several evenings or even weekends with you, it looks like it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
100%.
This has been my sleeper. I mean, I'm really excited for that game. I think that obviously we'll get into Scorpio stuff, but with those enhancements as well, and then like Sam said with the 4-player co-op, I believe it to me is just I love their take on zombie, like the whole zombie apocalypse and just base building and resources and all that kind of stuff, and just imagine the next level a little bit bigger and just more things to do. I'm very, very excited about that title. I cannot wait to see what these guys are cooking up. So yeah, I'm
absolutely hyped. Yeah, it's going to be great. I mean, we are potentially in for an amazing show. Like not just from all companies, but when I think about the releases that have come out lately and where we have been lacking in that regard, it's definitely on the Microsoft side of things. And I do believe it's because they know that they have the news of the Scorpio, which we're going to get into soon, to sort of tie gamers over. And the fact that we're seeing so little exclusive content at the moment on Xbox suggests that we're just going to get game after game after game after game at E3. So I'm so excited.
It's going to be a blowout.
It's going to be amazing. Yeah.
Very hype.
So am I the only one here who has played any of Persona 5 so far?
No, I started it the other night.
Ooh, exciting. How beautiful is it? It's like vibrant and right in your face.
I tried watching a stream. That didn't work out.
Oh,
Good. At least I'm not the only one. Thanks, Sam.
Yeah, was it like going to a speakeasy? You gotta get like a secret knock.
Wow. Well, in a surprise
Title
move,
screen.
because there were a lot of issues with the pre-orders for the, I think it's like the premium edition of Persona 5, Amazon accidentally cancelled a lot of people's pre-orders because somebody marked it as containing dangerous goods. So therefore, they had to cancel the pre-orders. So anybody who had their game, or this particular version of it, pre-ordered through Amazon, they actually got it for free. They were just like, we're really sorry for doing that. Here it is for free. But on top of that, because of all of the issues that they have had with the pre-orders, people who have actually received their copy of the game have been able to call up and go, yo, I canceled my pre-order. Why did you send this to me? And why are you charging me for it? And Amazon are like, oh, well, thank you very much, valued customer. We're very sorry for the inconvenience. What we're going to do is we're going to refund those funds to you, and please keep that copy of the game on us. So people are getting their game for free.
I'll tell you what, that didn't happen to me.
Maybe you should bring up and just be like, you know what, I actually did cancel that pre-order. But
Yeah, none of that.
yeah, there's been a lot of dramas, on the Amazon side of things. But as far as the game itself goes, I have not delved into a JRPG before. I've never, not to this degree. No, not to this degree. That is turn-based, whereas Final Fantasy 15 isn't turn-based. So I've not delved into something like that before, and I am finding that there is a little bit of a learning curve, but I'm digging it. Like, I think for anybody who hasn't delved into the Persona franchise previously, take a look. Join a stream or something. I mean, let's get one of our guys to stream it later this week or something, because it is amazing.
Have fun with that.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to do that.
You're not going to do that.
Yeah. 'Cause
No, seriously,
Atlas
you
dropped
can't.
that hammer.
Like, you cannot stream the game at all.
Well, we
Atlas
might be
said-
able to put up some footage on the YouTube channel or something.
You can't do
put
that
a
either.
you can put a random moments from Persona 5 and not everything though.
Yeah.
Not anything after 7-7 and not like some of the dungeon parts.
And not for more than 30 consecutive minutes.
Yeah.
Hi, Jesse.
That's
They're very-
hilarious.
They're very much the champions of no spoilers, even though they don't seem to have a concept of how, let's plays and things like that work. Like, people kind of know what they're getting into when they go to that. And again, Persona has taken off in a lot of, it's huge in Japan. We already knew that, but it definitely is finding like the footing in the Western, market. Have at it. Let people have at it, because all that's going to do is that hype that for the people who know about it, and like you, Bella, people who are coming into it. Because I'm fairly new to Persona also, and it being turn-based and everything. But if you're open to that type of game and you want to give it a try, you immediately understand what makes it special, what makes it cool. Not everybody knows that, or not everybody's curious about it. What's the best way to let people in on that? That's free marketing for you.
Absolutely.
But you shouldn't be concerned about spoilers.
Named.
Yeah, exactly. Especially a game like that, where there's a lot of curiosity that surrounds it, because again, there's people who know about it, but overall it's a curiosity.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think for the beautiful thing about Persona 5 is it doesn't cater to the Western world. It stays true to what it is, and it doesn't try to pander to other audiences. It just is its own thing. It knows its identity, and it stays true to it. And so I can see why that would be quite difficult for people who are used to very Western theme-based games to potentially get into. But if you can get over your preconceived conceptions of what you would think you should expect from a JRPG, particularly a turn-based one, and just accept Persona for what it is, you have an amazing experience on your hands.
Yeah.
Yep. So moving on from Persona to the topic of the week almost, NBA Playground! I'm pretty sure like everybody here is getting this game, right?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
I can see some staff gaming nights for this one.
Well, there was this one instance where Julius hadn't played NBA Jam for a long time, so I took it easy on him and let him win. And he hasn't ever laid it down since then. He's like, "Oh, what about that time I beat you in NBA Jam?" I'm like, So there is, there is.
I have video footage of her losing, so yeah.
Yeah. But NBA Playgrounds, like that's one of those kind of games that anyone and everyone can get into. This is really exciting. We've been waiting for this for such a long time.
Should be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Super exciting. So before we move out of the recent and upcoming game releases segment of the podcast, is there any other game that anyone would like to quickly discuss?
Well, I think I'm the only super RTS nerd here, but Total Warhammer 2, which is going to be friggin' phenomenal.
You're right, you are the only person in that category. But please feel free to update people on that.
It's a big deal because it's an RTS game and it's awesome and it's dark fantasy and I don't know if anyone's familiar with the lore of Warhammer, but it died off a while ago. So for the fans of the series, the lore books and the tabletop game, it's like this is one last revitalization of that story, if that makes any sense. So it means a lot to us because this is probably the last of that world we're ever going to get to see. Yeah. So it's meaningful for a lot of reasons.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Very nice. So moving into one of the more, I think, probably predictable subject matters for the evening, the specifications of the Xbox Scorpio being revealed via Digital Foundry earlier in the week. So that happened.
Oh, did that ever happen?
Yeah, that did happen.
Yeah, that happened.
Demi, why don't you go first on your thoughts on that?
Honestly, I wasn't really swayed by it. Just looking at numbers is cool. I'm not really a tech guy, so I'm like, this really don't do nothing for me. I need to see it in action. I need to see a game running. I need to see what's the capabilities of the console going to do. You're seeing numbers and spec talk and people like, oh, I'm so impressed by this. And now I'm just like, I'm kind of a visual guy. Show me something that I can be like, yo, wow. Oh my God.
Like with what they did with the Forza Apex demonstration?
I think it's just a screenshot, wasn't it?
No, I'm pretty sure that they did a little bit of gameplay of it, but at the end of the day, I hear exactly where you're coming from there. Even as somebody who does look to the technical side of stuff as well, that's all good and well, but I want to see what that means for me on screen, how that translates to my gaming experience.
Because I got to play Horizon in 4K at PlayStation Experience, and
it's something else, right? Yeah, it's something else. Yeah. Horizon is friggin' amazing. See, Demi doesn't know. You guys all know, but Demi doesn't know. You bring up Horizon Zero Dawn and you're like, all right, sit down. Bella's going to rant for 5 minutes. I love Horizon Zero Dawn. It's like one of the best video games I have ever played. It's graphically stunning. And so for you to have had a chance to play it back then on 4K, I can only imagine how much of an impact that would have had on you and your, drive to want to make sure that was a day one purchase.
Yeah, I got a day one. I still ain't finished it, but I got it.
What?
Look, I've been playing Kingdom Hearts and Nier, so you don't judge me.
I'm totally judging you.
I'm
totally judging you.
Judgment happened.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so Eric, Your thoughts on the Scorpio?
Yeah, I kind of in some ways share like some of Demi's sentiment. I've never been like, I mean, even when Scorpio was talked about it when it was announced, my whole thing was always, okay, yeah, you know, power is great. But I'm always of the class that I was never really big into the whole resolution gate. My only question when the whole resolution gate, if that's what people want to call it, was why are either one of these consoles having a problem, you know, producing 1080p, you know, in the next generation?
Yeah.
When 1080p is a standard. So that was the only question I ever asked. I never got involved in who runs what better, resolution, whatever the case may be. So Sam and I actually talked about this after the reveal, and I said, okay, all this stuff that he talked about was fine, because, you know, I'm a middle tech guy. Like, I don't know all, like, the brainiac stuff of it, but I know a little bit enough. I know enough to be dangerous. And the only thing I said to Sam was, it's impressive, the engineering side of what they did with it. And it sounds like on paper it's going to be awesome. But like Demi, I said, okay, they talked about Forza 6, which runs at 1080p, 60 frames per second on an OG Xbox One.
Yeah.
Let's get into some real world application. I want to see how it handles, quote unquote, what we call beast games. You know, so like I said, talking to Sam, I kind of said, well, I know everyone like to throw around the term the monster, the beast, in case like that. I said, I don't know if that's where it is yet or that's what it's going to be, but I'm sure we'll find out a lot more like later on. But I'm glad people are excited. If people kept it cool and cordial, hats off to you. If you were being a dick, go somewhere, sit down. But either way, it pushes things forward. You always want to keep, these guys always want to keep each other on their toes and on notice. Nobody should be complacent. Nobody should be chilling. You know, you get knocked down, we want to see how you get back up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was the same thing like with Sony with the PS3. They stumbled majorly with the PS3, but they kept pushing forward. They got it back. Microsoft can do the same thing, which I'm also not in the camp of, you know, Microsoft is like, you know, down and out and dogged out and oppressed and all this stuff people like to do online, you know, because, you know, in a real world application, there are oppressed people, not console people. But anyway, I don't want to keep rambling on, but I think I'm hyped for it in a way, but I'm excited. I just want to see more. Sorry, I didn't mean to ramble, but
it's totally fine. It is.
That's cool, man.
Cool, that's cool.
Sam, your thoughts?
Well, if you let me get carried away here, I'll probably take up the entire podcast, so I'll try and keep it brief. What they have accomplished is nothing short of engineering wizardry. Computer engineering student, so I've taken interest in the paper specs and all this and the performance and all that sort of stuff. And so what's interesting about Microsoft's design here is there was a lot of speculation beforehand that they were going to go with a larger but slower GPU, like off the Vega line or something like that, or on the Puma side of CPUs, you know, anything like that. But that's not what they did. What they basically took is, okay, here are the parts that like the PS4 Pro is using, or something very similar to that. How can we aggressively overclock this to get more performance out of it, but simultaneously bring the cost down at the same time for consumers? And they've gone about it in an extremely aggressive fashion, which I think is nothing short of remarkable. This is the first console that's using a vapor cooler to, you know, keep the heatsink calm, keep the heatsink safe. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Using Forza 6 as a stress test makes perfect sense due to the scalability of the engine. And it wasn't just, you know, 4K 60 frames per second. I'm seeing that tossed around a lot like, well, you know, the original game ran 1080p 60 frames a second. It didn't have any problems. It's like, yeah, but if you actually read the article, it was a stress test where they doubled the cars and then cranked the ultra settings up, and they still couldn't bottom everything out. So knowing that and seeing, you know, the high-profile releases we've got coming up this year, like Shadow of War, Battlefront 2, yeah, it's going to be awesome. I'm hyped.
Thank you, Wiki. That was very well put. Digital Syrup, do you want to weigh in on this one?
Oh, I could take up the rest of the podcast as well. Being an IT guy, I've been around the block.
My man.
When it comes to CPUs and GPUs, been there right from the start. One of the things I'd like to point out is just how much of a nerd boner that Richard Ledbetter had in that video the whole time.
Yes.
He was never heard him say anything that exciting about Xbox tech in a long time. So going back to that Forza stress test, They did mention that when they had everything running, they were only pushing the GPU 66%, even with 4K assets. And
With no optimization.
With no optimization. And they were talking about how some of the older Xbox One games, even the ones that are running at 900p, and I'm looking at you, Ryse, because not Ryse and 4K.
I thought you were talking about me for a second. Then I realized you were talking about.
I am looking at your pictures.
Creepy much. Move along.
No, it's not my desktop. I swear. But no, it's like when he said Ryse, or when he said 900p, I'm like, well, there's Ryse, there's Battlefield 4. You know, any of the games that were 900p gate are now going to be upscaled to 4K with 4K assets, and they have no. He doesn't think that they're going to be able to max out the GPU utilization for those older titles. So it's only exciting to see how good these games are going to look once they get Scorpio optimized titles in there. Everyone's saying, "Oh, there's no Scorpio games." It's like, yes, every single Xbox One game is a Scorpio. It's going to be Scorpio optimized. So it's the same way as saying that all the other PS4 games have been optimized for PS4 Pro. So for anyone saying that there's no games, give your head a shake and sit down. The other thing is, if you look at the screenshot, that's right. If you look at the screenshot of Forza and like the detail they got into the pavement, even for it being a screenshot, I cannot wait to see that looking and running at 4K 60. That being said, who's all buying new TVs this year?
That's the thing, though.
Already ahead of you.
That's the thing.
Already ahead of you.
You don't have to buy a new TV because that was one of the other major things.
That's
Unlike
one of the major
PS4
things too.
Pro, which it's a first world complaint, but the PS4 Pro has a big issue in terms of what modes support what TVs. Microsoft's regulation is that it's not on the developer side. Any modes, you know, whether it's 4K or 60 FPS or whatever it does, have to be supported on older TVs as well. It is enforced 100% across the board.
Yep.
So if you got 1080p TV, you're still covered.
Yeah, because what you're getting is basically a 4K asset downgraded to 1080p, but you're still getting the performance and the visual fidelity.
Like downsampling a picture from like a 40 megapixel camera or something like that.
Super sampling, baby.
Yeah. So no, I'm.
All right. Well, before we wrap this up, Cognito, here's your opportunity to weigh in on this.
Sure. I mean, fellow IT background guy here as well. So I had a little geekgasm going into it. I mean, the whole thing for me, I felt this is just a backstory coming into the whole Digital Foundry thing. I just felt it was a tremendous vote of confidence from Microsoft to even, present that to them and give these guys the opportunity. Because let's just be honest, prior to that, not that Digital Foundry had any bias or anything, but when those comparison videos came out with, Xbox One titles and PS4 titles on a cross-platform basis, 90% of the time it was always, well, the Xbox One's resolution, it's not up to snuff and stuff like that. So they've been getting hammered in resolution gate, so to speak. So I thought that was a huge sign of confidence when I heard the announcement was going to be exclusive to Digital Foundry. So that was the first thing off the bat. From a geek standpoint, at first I was disappointed when I first heard about the CPU not being, because I know there was speculation. Everybody thought it might be Ryzen, it might be other stuff. But once I started to listen and seeing how much optimized those Jaguar cores were, and then I thought about from a compatibility standpoint, it makes sense that to keep it in the family. And so that the Xbox One games can, be fully optimized and, they wouldn't have as much, compatibility issues. But as far as that, and I mean, the games, I guess, kind of what Digital Server was saying is like, as far as the games with the Forza demo, I thought that was pretty impressive. How they, it was like not even optimized. They're running 4K 60 without issue. Another thing was huge was that I think what Microsoft needed to get across was that for people who don't have a 4K TV, this is of benefit to you. This is of benefit to you. Yeah. Any game that has any type of dynamic resolution, a lot of techniques that Microsoft has used in the past to kind of get away, as long as they keep the frame rate stable, but they wouldn't hit 1080p. Those games are going to get bumped up. So I thought that was huge. I mean, again, for the people who are saying, hey, where's the games? I get it. But I knew coming into this is the tech reveal. This is just to get that aspect out. And I appreciated it from the standpoint that we don't have to waste time at E3 with this. I don't need to see Phil come on stage.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. Give us a Bible. People, he would get bored. People would get booed, and completely bored by that stuff. So it was good to see. I don't think after this they'll do a Scorpio reveal what I thought they might do, but because I think this kind of hit a lot of the stuff they, probably the points they wanted to get across. It's a beast, the technical side. And I think now coming into E3, Phil and these guys can just focus on games and, attack that aspect, because that's the next big hurdle for everyone. What's the games, what are they going to do, that kind of stuff. But yeah, from a geek standpoint, I was impressed.
I think it's also important. Yeah, it's important to note that when they announced Scorpio, all of Phil Spencer's interviews were about, if you have a 4K, if you're getting 4K, then you should get Scorpio. And then now it's kind of changed. It's like, well, no, even though you got 1080p, you're still going to get the improvement. So I think that's a huge shift in what the messaging was saying after E3 last year. And one more thing about optimization, putting DX12 in hardware and lowering the amount of instructions needed for some of the special effects, like Richard said,
in some cases from 6,000 instructions to 11.
To 11, yes, and
that's
then
insane.
That's crazy. Like the less time you have spent executing code on the hardware to get it drawn on screen is always going to be better.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was gonna
it's like DirectX 12 baked in.
Yes.
Indeed. So, in wrapping up, hashtag 6 teraflops for the win.
Oh man.
So, we are about to move into one of the more anticipated segments of the podcast, Debate Night. Woo! So the subject matter up for debate today is games with gold better service than PlayStation Plus? The two gentlemen that will be debating this is Eric Jackson, who says no, actually PS Plus is a better service, and Lord Cognito, who's like, are you crazy? So they all get 2 minutes apiece. Who would like to go first?
I'll go first.
You'll go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Oh boy.
So I can lay this case down.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna. You ready? You feeling comfortable? You sitting up?
Oh
Your
yeah.
posture all sorted. All right. We're gonna start this in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. Well, first off, I'll say with PS Plus, essentially you receive all your games up front for the month. Like you don't have to have, they don't have to be staggered. You don't have to wait, as in like with games with gold, where your games may not be ready for you until the middle of the month, and you may have been anticipating that particular title. I think that's an attractive option, to those who don't have the means to buy a lot of games. Like boom, like one big hit, and you're good to go. With PS Plus, you actually receive 6 games per month when you factor in all the available platforms from PS4 to PS3 to PS Vita, as opposed to only 4 a month from games with gold. Another value proposition for PS Plus is the inclusion of cross-buy functionality on certain games, which means the title being offered on PS4 may also be available via cross-buy, cross-play on PS3 and PS Vita, or just PS4 and PS Vita. Hypothetically, this extends the list of monthly games by 1 with that feature alone. Also, that means you can take your games on the go with if you do have a Vita. Value in numbers. PS Plus for 2017 has already dished out 24 titles, where games with gold has only given 16 so far. And if you go back to 2016 and account for PS Plus versus games with gold, you roughly had
30 seconds.
You roughly had about 90 titles with PS Plus versus 60 with games with gold. And I'll just end off with saying imitation is the highest form of flattery because PS Plus was there first. Xbox decided to copy it. Shot fired.
Okay, Eric. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like we don't even have to go to the buzzer on that one. You had an additional 9 seconds. Let's hope you don't regret not using them. All right, so everybody will have scored what they feel was the amount of points that everybody that Eric just made then. So we've got our points set aside. So now we're going to move over to Lord Cognito. We're going to allow you your 2 minutes. Are you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
You ready? In 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. So why Games with Gold is better than PS Plus? All right. Let's start with the basics. The first, there's obviously a lot of similarities between the two, but to me, the biggest disparity is just the quality of games. I mean, especially in the month of April alone. Just look at April. We got Ryse, Son of Rome, graphical powerhouse, launch title by Crytek that still holds up on the Xbox One to this day. We've got Walking Dead Season 2, which is an amazing Telltale game. The Clementine Saga is a classic. Point number 2, Games with Gold has the ultimate trump card, which is backward compatibility. Since PS Plus, they don't have backward compatibility. Microsoft can easily reach into a tremendous backlog of 360 classics, so they can provide higher quality games every month, as well as the fact that those downloaded 360 games stay with you after an expired Games with Gold subscription. And then the point 3, I think, would just be the volume of AAA titles. So outside of Little Big Planet in February, I can't recall the last big AAA title released on PS Plus. In comparison, the last 4 months of Games with Gold has been Evolve, Ryse, Son of Rome, Borderlands 2, Project Cars, Star Wars Force Unleashed, Killer Instinct 2, Sleeping Dogs. I mean, the list goes on. So, meanwhile, while PS Plus has more focused on the smaller indie titles as a showcase, you know, to me, it's not even close with a AAA title. So, to me, it's Games with Gold all day, and I'm ended on that.
Okay, you had an additional 30 seconds left on the clock. Let's hope you don't regret not using that. All right, let's bring up the scores and we'll figure out who collectively we feel has just won today's very well-structured debate. Sam, how many points did you award Eric for his argument?
I award Eric 5 points.
5? Okay. And how many did you award to Cognito?
I awarded him 4 points.
4. Okay. Demi, how many points did you award to Eric for his argument?
I'll give him 4.
Okay. And how many did you put to Cognito for his argument?
I say the same. A good 4.
Yeah. All right. Nice. Jules?
I will give Eric 6 and Cognito 4.
Okay. Who hasn't scored yet? Have you got all scored now?
I haven't scored yet.
Well, you two don't get to score. That's how this stuff works. 24. Well, this is actually surprising and very, very close. So my score, this is rough. So my score as I went through it was, Eric, I gave you 9 points for the arguments you brought forward.
Wow.
Purely because every time, so the way that I score is every time you bring up a valid point, you get a point. So Eric got 9 and Cognito, you got 8. So when I add all of that to, this is really close, guys. Like, this is almost a tie. This is almost a tie. Lord Cognito, collectively, you got 22 points. Eric Jackson, collectively, you got 24 points. Eric Jackson, the dark horse of this debate, sneaks a win. Congratulations.
Salute.
Well, thank you. I was going to say, is it wrong that I'm sitting there while Cognito's doing his, I'm nodding like,
I'm doing the same thing. You got that one. I was like, oh, okay.
I was like, oh man, you got to have more points. I want to give you more points.
I was like, yeah, you bringing some that's good points. So if I would have
was a
tallied
really
mine, he might have, that would have put him over there.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Two
That was
equally
fun,
good
man.
services, same price points. It was a lot of things that was very similar, so it's actually harder to get differing points. But
Yeah,
that was good.
yeah.
You would have taken it if he had said it wasn't streaming.
Or maybe use that additional 30 seconds that you passed up. Because as I'm getting to it, I'm looking at my points versus his points. I'm like, you got 30 more seconds, dude. Like, come on. So all in all, as everybody can see, regardless of whether you're a fan of PlayStation or Xbox or both services have very solid programs available for you as far as your free game incentives that you get. It does really come down at the end of the day to the type of gamer that you are, as to whether you do like a lot of indies, or whether you do, for example, on PlayStation, own a PS3 as well and own a Vita, so therefore you get a maximum amount of value out of that, or maybe you just own a PS4 and only the games on there. So when you look at it like that, that then weighs up against the 360 back compat titles and the Xbox One titles, and you may feel like you're getting more value for money out of your Xbox Gold membership. It's down to the individual gamer at the end of the day, but the bottom of the line is they're both really good services.
Mm-hmm. Although I would argue Sony could throw in a few extra AAAs now. They are kind of getting
I mean, Killzone
getting bodied a little
Shadowfall,
bit.
Dak, or how old at this point? Come on.
Yeah,
Come on.
absolutely. Absolutely. All right,
Those
so
are going to
let's...
PS Now.
Pardon?
No, it's hilarious that those are going to PS Now, but haven't showed up on... Sorry.
I'm sure all 13 people subscribed will enjoy them.
Oh, sad.
Oh, man.
Souls.
Oh, damn.
Souls.
Screaming for the win.
Goodness. Oh, my goodness. All right, moving right along to one of the very, very exciting things that we have to announce today. We have been running a competition on our Real Game Media website for some weeks now for one lucky person to win a copy of Mass Effect Andromeda on the platform of their choice between PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. And today, we get to announce the winner of that competition. Over to you, Julius.
There's my sad excuse for a drum roll.
That was a drum. That was a drum roll. I'm glad that you don't do voice acting in video games. But please continue.
Impressed I am not. Okay. Entry 5,396 out of 10,000 entries. Heath Stevens, you are the winner of the Mass Effect Andromeda giveaway.
Yay! Congratulations, Steve. Make sure you get in contact with us via our Twitter account, which is @RealGameMedia, and we will converse with you to find out, what platform it is that you are super, super excited to get your copy of Mass Effect Andromeda on.
Austin said, my name is Heath Stevens.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Classic. Okay, so let's get into the wrap-up section. We have one thing left to discuss before we get to our final area of Netflix and chill, which is the 2017 BAFTA Awards. Uncharted 4, A Thief End takes out Best Game category.
Wow. Hey,
Anybody surprised by that?
Uncharted 4 has been cleaning the house. I'm not surprised anymore.
No, me either.
And Inside as well. Inside got a lot of different of the smaller awards. I think they took it 4 different categories.
Yeah, they racked up.
Those two were taken out last year. That Uncharted, Inside, and Overwatch were the 3 games that would just clean the house last year.
Yeah.
So I really don't it doesn't surprise me anymore when I see at least 2 of those 3 win awards at this point.
Absolutely. I mean, they're very deserving. It was a fantastic game, and I was sad to see it not get a little bit more love at the awards earlier in the year, but I mean, at least it's getting love now at the BAFTA Awards, which is the most prestigious of all events when it comes to that. So good on them. Well done. Well done.
But you notice people put more focus on the video game awards.
Yeah.
Like with Keeley, it's like that hurts people more than like, you know, like the BAFTAs come and they go and they get announcements and people go, okay, but that video game award wouldn't, oh my God, people lose their minds.
Yeah. Whilst having to listen to really bad music.
Yeah, I'm putting all this, oh man. It's like, can someone help Jeff out?
Yeah. All right. Well, like I said, that was going to be a very brief one. I just wanted to let everybody know the BAFTA Awards have happened. Game of the year, or you know, best game of the year went to Uncharted 4. So well done to that team because that was a brilliant game. Mm-hmm. So Netflix and chill, and our movie segment. Rick and Morty fans are surprised with the first episode from season 3. Who's a Rick and Morty fan?
I've heard nothing but great about this show. I've only watched like 1 or 2 episodes. It was funny, but yeah, I don't know. I've been I mean to kind of go back and watch. Yeah, but that's all you hear. People talk about how awesome it is. So, but the ones I did watch were funny. I just never really committed to like more episodes.
Same.
Yeah.
I've seen a little bit, but in that little bit was fantastic. But I've never found time to actually just commit and binge.
Right. But
so it sounds like you two have a binge session coming on then.
Yeah, I'll squeeze that in, like with everything else. You know?
So Warner Brothers has released a trailer for It. Promises plenty of familiar sights and terrifying moments. My immediate response when I watched that trailer was like, no.
I loved it.
No.
It's a clown. So someone get me a flamethrower, please. Just.
Oh my God! Right, this is like the creepy dude comes up out of the sewers and he's like a clown as well. No. Who comes up with this stuff and why?
Mm-hmm. But would you say the original? Would you say the original is still creepier? The original clown, like Tim Curry's clown, Pennywise.
Look, any demented clown is creepy. It shouldn't be a thing. I mean, clowns in themselves at carnivals and stuff, I'm like, oh, cool, that's really nice. You're trying to cheer everybody up. Outside of that, no.
All right, like if you open your window in the morning and look on your lawn, there's a clown standing there staring at your house.
Yeah, no.
That changes the whole tone.
Just no. I'm relocating. I'm going out the back fence. I'm grabbing the cats. I'm telling everybody, grab what you can now and leave. There's no time for anything else. We are relocating. Just no. Just
cats first.
No. Absolutely.
Cats first.
Absolutely. Cats first.
Hashtag cats first.
Yeah, exactly. So Spider-Man Homecoming, the new trailer released. Anybody super pumped about that?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Spider-Man is back in the right hands. That's fantastic.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is pretty exciting.
And plus, we've got Iron Man, we've got Vulture in probably his most heavily armed incarnation ever. We got Shocker.
Sure.
It looks awesome.
Yeah. I'm definitely feeling it. My only concern with it, and I spoke to one of the lords about this, was that I'm just concerned about the Iron Man involvement. I know he has a place as far as tying it into the MCU and tying Spider-Man into it, but I just don't want it to be an Iron Man movie. I keep seeing a little bit too much Iron Man in these trailers, so I'm just hoping that Spidey gets his just due. They have their interactions as they're gonna have, but I do hope that it's really focused on them. But it looks great. I mean, from what I see, I
think they use Iron Man so much in these trailers for star power, and that it's Iron Man, it's Robert Downey.
Yep,
We're gonna feed you guys more of this just so you can come see it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, exactly. I mean, if you look at quality, when was the last time actual Marvel made a bad movie?
Right.
True that.
Exactly.
And that might just be the gateway to, hey, Spider-Man's safe again. You know us, you love us, Iron Man. Those last 2 movies didn't happen. Come on over. People might have felt burnt by those last 2 Spider-Man movies,
Yeah, they're like, what? We know what we're doing. We know what we're doing. So just
we got Iron Man.
I hope all of you like my cameo in the movie. Those of you who know me and know what I look like will know what I'm talking about.
Oh, goodness.
I'm only saying that
Bro, I
because
never thought
the
about
day
that.
before, the day after the trailer dropped, everyone on Facebook was like, "Dude, are you in the movie?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not in the movie." And they're like, "But it looks so much." I'm like, "It's not me." And they're like, "Are you
Bro.
sure?" I'm like, I'm sure." I'm like, "Do you have a brother?" I'm like, "No."
You should have went along with it, man.
Julius, I get it, man. Because the places I go, people say, "You know who you look like?" I'm like Randy Jackson from American Idol.
I just made the connection.
Oh my goodness.
And then, they lose it when they see my last name is Jackson.
Oh man, family.
And it's like,
Yeah.
you are punking us right now. You are definitely punking us right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Justice League trailer has League members coming together, shows great promise. Who's excited? Who's seen it? What do we think?
All their
Don't
trailers show
suck.
great promise.
Please don't
Right.
suck. Please don't suck.
Yeah, please don't suck.
That's the thing, right? Like lately, particularly with Justice League stuff, there has been a little bit of this like the marketing has been fucking phenomenal. And
Mhm.
then you
Then
watch
the lead up sucks.
Yeah, right. And
Yep.
it's like, well, this was not what I expected. Hashtag Mass Effect Andromeda marketing.
Yeah.
So, it's
Mhm.
it is one of those things where we are a little bit nervous about how this is going to play out.
Yeah. These are becoming, in a way, and I'm hoping that they're going to turn this around, but it's really becoming like Charlie Brown, Lucy, and that damn football.
You're right.
It's like, come on, kick it. You're
Exactly
like,
right.
nah, man, no. I keep falling for it. So I'm hoping, I don't know.
Although before that, I mean, Wonder Woman is coming up before that.
Exactly.
So
I was gonna say the same
hopefully
thing.
that hits it out of the
Wonder
park.
Woman. She is my favorite.
But she was, I mean, hey, she and Batman were arguably the best parts of BVS. So even though she had her role wasn't that big, but still.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That was the best part of
yeah.
that movie. Yeah, arguably. Yep.
And considering everybody
Alright.
hated the idea of Affleck, and he turned out to be one of the better parts of it.
Yeah.
That is
True. All right, so before we go too much further over time, let's get into the very, very last section here. So whilst we're doing the last section, which is Grind My Gears, live audience, over to you to put in any questions that you may have into the chat section. We will have a look and see what you've asked at the end of Grind My Gears. Who has something that is weighing on their mind? Just this one thing that's been grinding their gears all week and they need to get it off their chest. Who wants to go first? Don't all jump in at once,
Really?
please.
Really? I'm going to be first again?
Get it.
Come on. No way. Seriously?
No, I'm putting Eric on the spot.
Okay, I'll go. This has gone on a long time, but it still pisses me off every time I see it. I hate when popular shows are live, on the air, like Walking Dead or whatever you may have, and people feel the need that they have to live tweet
For the love of God, yes.
everything that's going on. They're like, we used to have decorum to this kind of thing. Like, there used to be a way this was handled. And now it's just like, oh, sorry, I got to, entertain nobody
Hey,
by giving
I
my
do
hot
that,
take
so I
on what
can't.
just happened.
I'm being quiet here because I do that. So I'm guilty.
Nice. You feel better? You feel better now you got that off your chest?
I guess so. It's gonna still
I'll
happen,
go.
but I just learned when there's certain shows that I like, I just stay off.
Yeah.
Until I get a chance to watch, until the next day, or until I get a chance to actually watch. So
Absolutely. Demi, why don't you tell us what's been grinding your gears?
To be completely honest and gaming perspective about the grind my gears, I am tired of the 4K talk. It really it for me it's not a selling point. All it just seems like everything has to be 4K and just make this great and graphically impressive. And oh my God, these graphics are bananas. But can we stop? Can we just say, hey, this game was good, or just show it off?
Yeah.
I got very bad news for you. It's not going to get any better. It's only going to get
It's
worse.
not.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that as someone who absolutely loves it and completely disagrees with you. Like, just buckle in, because lead up to E3, ooh boy.
Oh yeah.
And what grinds my gears is when
Absolutely.
someone has a really good grind my gears.
Yeah.
That was a good grind my gears. So that grinded my gears. Because I'm with you, Demi. Like, I'm tired of it, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mr. Cognito.
It's a good one. For me, it's just, I think as we all have our preferences as far as platform and stuff like that. We get it, but it's just, I guess for me, what grinds my gears is just having platform honesty, and to say, okay, even if you're a fan of something, you can respect the other side or say that something else is impressive. And I think what really grinds my gears is like, to me, it's just funny, like watching what's going on now as far as with the Scorpio news being announced. And then I'm also thinking during, the whole 2013/2014 reveal. And it's just funny to me, like, narratives change, things change. And the whole thing is, it's okay to like your platform, but it's okay to give another platform credit and say, hey, Sony's got great exclusives right now. It's undeniable. It's okay to say, hey, Scorpio is the most powerful, system console coming out right now. I just feel like people are so in their feelings that they can't see it.
I've got a mouth full of salt right now.
Yeah, like it's grinding my gears. Just be real with yourself. It's okay to like whatever piece of plastic you like. Yep. Just give it up when you got to give it up, and that's it. So I got it off my chest, Bella.
Amen.
Good.
I'm glad you're feeling better. This is adult gamer group therapy right here.
Exactly. This is what RGM is all about.
Speaking of, Julius, what's been grinding your gears? What do you need to get off your chest?
What grinds my gears is when you go and you update a plugin in WordPress, and it forces you to take down the site and do a whole theme update, and then you cross your fingers, hoping that the four levels behind you are, because you had to rebuy the theme because somebody else owns the theme, and then it works. So it all worked out. But oh my God, this website updates please work. I've got everything backed up, but please work.
Yeah, see, my opinion on that is I don't care how much sleep you need to lose. Just make sure my website works.
Yep.
That's all that matters. Just make sure my website works.
I didn't lose too much sleep, but it was dicey there for a bit.
Sam, over to you. What's been grinding your gears?
Okay, so it sort of builds off of what Cognito was saying in terms of it's okay to respect, what someone else is doing, even if it's not, your preferred system. But it sort of goes a little further than that. It's a little different. Like the day of the Scorpio tech announcement, I braced for the worst, and Twitter wasn't actually that bad. I mean, Eric, I think you and I kind of talked about that. It wasn't really, all that vicious. Unfortunately, the day afterward more than made up for it.
For real.
Of course, there's the usual eye roll worthy agenda swapping of, the same people who couldn't have cared less about power now do, and the same people who were screaming power from the rooftops suddenly couldn't find the word in the dictionary if you paid them for it. That's always funny, the agenda swapping. But more than that, there's this polarization going on in the community that is really making me uncomfortable. It really reminds me, I was talking with some friends about this, it really reminds me of late 2013 or even mid 2013 more accurately, and I'm not liking it because there's this sense of people can disagree and people have argued and whatnot, and there's been nastiness on Twitter and stuff like that, but there's an overall sense of vitriol coming back, and I really, really don't appreciate it. We can debate and we can disagree without having to get at each other's throats about it.
Yeah.
Act like adults.
It goes back to what Cognito said. People feeling when you attach emotion to it, you just can't. There's no separating it. And you shouldn't be emotional over a piece of plastic.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And both yourself and Cognito answered the question that Wes, through what grinds your gears, actually answered the question that Wes put in the comment section about fanboys not being able to recognize that it's okay if something's good, if it's not the platform that you support. It's okay. It doesn't have to be a big issue. The thing that has been grinding my gears this last fortnight, and it's something that always grinds my gears, but every now and again something else will come up that grinds my gears worse. But this week I'm back to the people who just hide behind anonymity on social media and say some of the nastiest things to people. Like I have a friend who was a veteran who just spoke his mind about how excited he was about something happening in the games industry, and he got so much hate over it from people who don't like the platform that he's on, and it was disgusting. Even people who I'm friends with on Twitter, who actually I should state who I were friends with on Twitter, jumped in and just said some of the nastiest, most hate-filled things to this person because they didn't agree with their platform of choice. Like, this is not okay behavior. This is not how you would act if you were in front of another human being. If you were not, it's like all our lives as we grow up. You get taught, if you're not prepared to say something to somebody's face, then don't say it at all. And that should apply to social media.
You know, Bella, I think it's pretty telling that Cognito, then me, then you basically all had the same grinds my gears. With a slight variation, with a twist, but we all had the same one, and I think that's extremely telling as to the current state of our community.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. Fortunately, during this time, you see the worst in people.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I could have gone there with you too, but I didn't want to make every one of my grind my gears about fanboy stuff. I think everyone might have been that to this point, but it's true. You guys are making great points.
Keyboard gangsters running loose.
Yeah, and always keep this in mind. If you saw someone in the street, would you say what you're about to say behind your keyboard too? Because no, you probably get smacked.
Exactly.
You know?
Absolutely. All right, so that wraps us up for another fortnight. Thank you so much to our guests, Demi and Cognito.
Are we taking questions from the chat?
Well, we got a question, and our question was answered through what our grinds, our gears.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, I misunderstood. Sorry, carry on.
Covered. Yes, thank you, as I was, yes. So, thank you to everybody for joining us in the live chat. Thank you to everybody who will spend their time listening to us in the future. Please feel free to provide us with any feedback at all about the things that you like, that you didn't like, and stuff that you would potentially like to hear. We really love how engaged you get in the chat section with us. It is so amazing to be able to share our thoughts with you and have you feedback to us as well. So thank you so much for that interaction. We will be back again in another 2 weeks. And then 2 weeks after that, we will actually also be announcing live on air the winner of our Nintendo Switch giveaway. So if you entered into that, make sure you do not miss that event.
With the Switch.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'll go to bed. I'm sorry.
Oh, goodness. Okay, but for now and until another 2 weeks, this has been another Real Game Media podcast.